It's all going to my chickens because I couldn't get to it. This is my frustration. I couldn't get to it. I got all the romaine over there, you know. So I grow this stuff and I won't eat any of it. It's all going to my chickens because I have too much. Yeah, it's beautiful. You should eat some. It's really, it's the Flaxseed Simpson. It's very delicious. Just take something out of the center there and just enjoy it. It's really good. Now, Wayne, you're going to do a garden next year?
Yes.
I want to give you a cucumber to get seed from, because I want you to start getting the idea that you need to start collecting your seed. Everybody listen to me. I don't know if you're aware of it, but the people who are the powers that be on this planet don't have your best interest in mind. And you notice what they've been done the last couple of years. They've been creating hybrid and genetically modified seed. That's the kind of seed you have to buy, because your plants don't produce it. You know what their mentality is now? They're planning on patenting all of our vegetable seeds. Patenting what God created for free, they want to patent. I'm just telling you where this is going, so I'm encouraging you all, when you start growing your garden, start collecting your seed. Because we're coming to a time when you will not be able to get. And here's the word. This just shows you the heart of God. In Genesis, he says this twice. Everything I've given to you for food produces seed after its own kind. You see, that mentality just shows you the heart of the Father. Once you have food, you will have free food the rest of your life with semi-diligence. Because all that food produces seed after its own kind every year. So forever, you will have food. Conversely, hybrid seeds, genetically modified, they do not produce seed after their own kind. Are you following me? Yeah. And see, at that point, you become dependent on those people who produce your seed. And it's all costs, and they can totally cut you off and not give you seed. So I'm telling you this, you know, this is important. You want to raise your food, and you're gonna, I'm gonna give you a cucumber over here, and you're gonna be amazed at the amount of seed you get out of it. It's just
How do you
huge.
store your seed in the seasons? You know, you get it in the fall.
Like this cucumber, so I open it up, I scrape it out into a strainer, I wash it out, and I look at when they sell these little packages of cucumber seeds for like many dollars, and I can't believe how many seeds in one cucumber. It's just again, abundance. I got these, I'm giving you from all sweet onions, because I went and collected seed, and I have so many, so I'm going to give you some. I'm just saying, it doesn't take a lot to get tons of seeds when you're growing nutrient-dense stuff, because it's just so much.
You keep it in your cooler?
No, I keep it. The seed I'll keep in my shed over here. Like I put it in envelopes. Wait for it to totally dry first, and then I make sure when I pick it, you know, I let it dry on the vine right before it's totally dry. Then I put it someplace where it can finish drying. Then I just let it dry out. But again, it's quite simple, and the more you do, the easier it gets. But I'm just telling you, we need to start getting into the mentality is we need to collect our own seed, because it's not going to be available in the marketplace in the future.
What about cross-pollination?
Cross-pollination is a real bummer, and this is why I'm so thankful where I live. I don't have people growing stuff around me, so I can have clean stuff. So when you're growing things, and ask God, where can I plant this in a safe place where it won't get cross-pollinated? So it'll be placed in your yard, you don't have wind happening, will be safe. And if you ask Him, as you walk around, He'll show you. See that space over there? Plant that there.
What about within your own, like if you plant different varieties?
And then what you want to do, if you want a certain variety, then next year don't plant something that's going to cross-pollinate. Just because that seed you collect will last you for several years. So that year, just cut yourself off from the multiplicity and keep it simple. Again, it's so common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's just like, you know, and it's good for us. There's times and places for everything. It's good to discipline yourself. You don't have to have everything all at once, and just get real, because it's you know, it's easy. And again, it's just simple, you know, simple common sense. You know what's sad today? Is that common sense is not common anymore.
No.
It's sad. Common sense is no longer common. Yeah. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Well, I do have wood chips on my place, and I planted beans and squash, and they came up fine. And then I planted a second cropping of that, and they didn't come up until just recently. They started coming up because they had gotten some rain. And so I have beans and squash coming up, but they're not going to make it, are they?
Not now.
So,
no, see, beans and squash you want to plant in June, and there's no second planting of those.
No second planting. Okay.
You see, you can second plant, like, you know, see over here, I got all my all that spinach, all that cilantro, all that
All the greens.
all those
you
greens.
can-
That's second
second
plant. That's
plant.
winter.
Do you cover your winter?
No, I noticed God doesn't do any covering. I'm really
Yeah,
learning.
that's
You know, the thing that I'm
Wait.
getting is that the master gardener of the universe is my mentor, and I've thrown all the books away because he knows everything,
yeah.
and I just do what he does, and it works.
Yep.
And I could care less what they tell me.
Yeah, I know. I was
I'm not
thinking I haven't
interested.
planted this stuff now, should I? But you're right. God doesn't cover it, so
So what is this?
These are beets.
Or the soil right here?
This soil here. Glad you asked. See, the soil here is different than my wood chips. You notice? This soil is all created from my yard waste. All my grass clippings, all my weeds, all my expired plants. See all that lettuce? That's all going to chicken pens. All these cucumbers that are getting finished, all going to go there. And the chickens eat what they want, make wonderful eggs. Look at the
oh my
density.
goodness, that
see the density?
beet is this big.
And look how close they are together.
It's pushing up.
I know. But my point is, I'm not thinning. And you don't need to.
Yeah.
And so this gorgeous material is all created from my yard waste by my chickens.
I know.
They don't have any holes in the leaves.
Why should they? Eat some of those tender leaves and see how good they are. They're really good.
I grew up in this. Where do you get your seeds originally?
Railroad ties.
They are, they had some creosote in, but that's not a
But
problem.
can I tell you what I would do now? If you guys need borders on your lawns, on your lawn and your garden, you know what's the cheapest, easiest way to do it? And it really looks cool because you can make all kinds of angles if you want. Make a 4-inch trench, put in bender board, and pour concrete. It's very cheap and will last forever. Nothing will go through concrete. And it's clean looking. And see, wood rots and they're ugly. The concrete, you can make nice borders, make all kinds of turns, bender board, 4 inches, spread it out, pull it, and you're good. And it's forever. And it's cheap. So concrete makes great curbs in your garden. Keep the grass up. Yeah, 4 inches is enough, and 4 inches wide, and just pour it, spread, trowel it
I
out.
love that. I could-
It's cheap and fast, and it's forever.
What about the green wood or the railroad ties?
The creosote, I don't think it's a problem because I don't think it's coming out. If you notice railroad ties on railroads, they don't rot. I'm looking at the grass over here, and I see no impact. These have been here 33 years now.
Wow.
And so I'm not seeing, again, so many things they tell me. I'm looking at nature. This is nature. My grass next to it says there's no creosote coming off hurting us. So I'm just thinking again, I got lied to.
Where do you get your original seed?
Everybody get your papers out because I'm going to give you 2 places to get seed because if you're paying attention to what's happening on the planet, all these wonderful seed companies that took care of your parents and your grandparents that have been around for decades are no longer wonderful. Like Jungs, Johnnies, Burpees, all these people, they're now all under the control of the major chemical companies. Monsanto and the like. So I'm going to give you 2 companies that aren't, that you can get clean, organic, heirloom seed. The first is Sandhill Preservation Center. Sandhill, like sand on the beach, Hill Preservation Center. The next is Fedco, F-E-D-C-O. Now Fedco will carry some hybrid, just to avoid those, but they have a tremendous variety, a really good selection, and really good quality stuff. What I like about Fedco is their heart. There's a Seventh-day Adventist school in Maine, Fedco's in Maine, who wasn't making it financially because of the high cost of living, and so they're having the kids do a CSA garden to produce income for the school. So they went to Fedco to get seed, and Fedco gave them, no charge, all this seed. So I was really impressed with their heart.
And the
How
other
about
one is
Baker Creek?
Baker Creek has the same. Baker Creek is wonderful, but Sandhill Preservation has the same seeds, a lot cheaper, more volume. And I'm trying to be a good steward. I like Baker Creek, and they're fine. It's just, and they're good quality seed, but it's just these people have the same thing for less and more volume. See over there. I want you to bring your camera because I want you to. There's a guy. Yes.
Before we go off to a different topic, where do you get your trees?
My trees I get from local nurseries. I'm not worried about trees, how they're growing. So I'm going to take you and show you a Japanese maple. It looks terrible, but my wood chips are going to change it. And so it's a variety you want, and listen to me, don't ever buy anything but a dwarf. Did you hear me? Because you already saw what happens to dwarfs. Anything else you're going to buy is going to get way too big. And then don't follow the book because the book says you can plant them 10 to 12 feet apart. And I'm so glad I asked the creator because he said 15 minimum. These are all 15, you can see they're all touching. and I have to prune them every year because I can't walk through.
Wow.
And so dwarf fruit trees, 15 minimum. 15 minimum. And if you're doing cherries or plums, more because they're not dwarf, they get bigger. And so again, always talk to God about stuff because he just knows better, and he'll never lie to you. He'll always tell you the right thing. So just ask. That's why he says, in all your ways acknowledge him. What is all about? Yes.
What about exfoliating if you have a small
Oh, I'm so
patch?
glad you asked. You see, anything unnatural has negative consequences. If they think exfoliating is so cool, you can maintain on a straight place, don't have to use ladders, and it makes such sense. Here's what happens with the negative part of it. As that tree begins to grow and the wood expands against that espalier holding place, that wire grows into it and chokes it, and it's limited life. Espaliers will never last for any period of time. You see these trees here? They're 36 years old. If the Lord tarries for the next 300 years, they'll be producing because they're well and healthy and they have space to live. When you confine something to any kind of confinement, it shortens its lifespan. And again, you come back to this God. You see, we come up with these things from our brains. It looks great up front, but no one's looking down the road. When that wood expands and gets really thick, all those little branches are having apples, and then it gets taken over by this small space with heavy wood. You're not going to shrink the wood. It's never going to go back. And so as it gets bigger and bigger, it's just going to totally choke itself and make that place totally dense, and you rip it all out. You're looking at all these orchards today, nothing lasts very long. They're all ripping all the trees because they have no... This is 36 years. It will last for hundreds of years because they're well.
20 to 30 years they redo it.
Yeah, and it's just, that's totally stupid. 20, 30 years. This is 36, you can see how well they're producing. You're starting to get some volume in 36 years. Why take them out? Why start over again? How stupid. But again, you see, we live in this culture that's all disposable, and we want stuff now. And that's not real.
Paul, you say you put this grass on this garden here?
This was all grass when I came.
Well, I mean, you cut it. Where do you put the cuttings?
All to the chickens.
Well, chickens
See, my
get that?
chickens take all my yard waste.
And I don't see a whole lot of, well, I do see a few dandelions.
Oh, they're right there. There's dandelions.
So you don't do anything special with them, okay?
No, I can live with them.
We're having to also.
I just don't care for 2,4-D.
No, of course not.
You know, that's just, I just don't want to live with that. You know, so if I have dandelions, I'll just dig them out. I'll get my digger and dig them out.
Paul, if you had to buy trees like from a catalog or a company, where would you buy those
There's
trees?
a
What do
place,
you recommend?
here in Washington, Burnt Ridge Nursery. They're in Burnt Ridge, and they have really nice stuff. What's ideal if you can go there? You can pick nice stuff. Or if they send it to you, it might get pretty small. You know, so it's better to show up. But they have really nice varieties, and they're true to the label. Many places aren't. I bought stuff that wasn't what they said it was.
You said Bert what?
Burnt Ridge Nursery. They're in Washington. They're on Alaska, Washington.